Okay, next up, we're going to actually simplify imaginary or clean up imaginary numbers the same way that we cleaned up radicals. And the way we're going to do this, by definition, anytime you have the square root of a negative, it is imaginary. So our basic definition of I is the square root of negative 1. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the square root of 25 and split it into the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 25. Anytime a square root of negative 1 comes out front, it becomes an I. And we also know the square root of 25, which is 5. Nothing's left under the root. Our final answer is 5I. Let's do one like 3 here to where we actually have to clean it up. I'm going to split the square root of negative 90 into the square root of negative 1. And I'm going to go a step further. And the square root of 90 that I have left, I'm going to split into 9 times 10. I know the square root of negative 1 is I when I bring it out front. I know the square root of 9 is 3. So my final answer is 3I. And underneath that radical, I still have a root 10. Let's also go over the powers of I. The powers of I to the first power, second power, and third power, and so on and so forth, follow an actual pattern. Here's the pattern it follows. I to the first power is I to the second power is negative 1, I to the third power is negative I, and I to the fourth power is positive 1. Then it actually starts over. I to the fifth, I to the sixth, I to the seventh, I to the eighth, I to the ninth, and so on and so forth. And I'll need you to notice that this 1 is where I to the fourth power falls, I to the 8th, I to the 12th, I to the 16th. So therefore, any multiple of 4 is going to fall there. So I know that I to the 8th would be 1. Therefore, this first problem, I to the 7th, will be simply the value before it. The next one, I to the 23rd, and show you a trick here that you can actually use. We know that every fourth power is going to be 1. So we can take this right here, this 23, and we can divide it by 4, and we actually get 3.75 or 3 3/4. So therefore, what we can do there, we know it doesn't fall here because it's not a multiple of 4, but if you'll look at your remainder, the 3/4 tells us that it's going to be at 1, 2, 3. So I to the 23rd power would be negative I to the 256th power, again, if you divide this by 4, 256 divided by 4, you actually get 64 with no remainder, which tells us that 256 is a multiple of 4. So therefore, since it's a multiple of 4, it's going to fall right there. It's going to be 1. And let's try one more. Let's do I to the 636th power. Well, 634th power. So therefore, again, you can take and divide this by 4 to see where it's going to fall in the pattern. Here's the power pattern again. I, negative 1, negative I, and positive 1. So 634 divided by 4. Let's see, what would that be? That's going to be 150. That would be 600. 159. No, actually 158 with 2 left over. So again, since you have it's not a multiple of 4, however, since you have the 2/4 remainder, it's going to fall right here, and the value is going to be negative 1.